What I'm going to share isn't particularly extraordinary. It isn't going to shock you or invite you into a brand new universe of understanding. This isn't that kind of TED Talk. Instead, I'm going to share some story about how seeking praise had played a major role in my life. Although every one of you have experienced this in some way, shape, or form, I think it's still worth talking about. And I hope you all feel seen by what I'm going to share. When I was in 4th grade, I discovered 2 things. How much I love my Chinese literature teacher, Monsieur, and how much I didn't like my math teacher, whose name I don't want to talk about. One day in Monsieur's class, we were going over our practice test for the big final. Everyone knew what's coming next. She'd announced the top scorer. It always felt like the whole class held its breath for that part. But before I could even settle into my seat, the door creaks open. It was my math teacher. He asked if he could borrow me for a moment and motioned me to the back of the classroom. He handed me this wrinkled, ugly test paper that had a 76 slap on the front. I wasn't even surprised. This paper had been passed back and forth between us 4 times already, just for the correction. And apparently, I still didn't get it. He shoved it into my hand, his voice sharp and biting. How can you keep making these stupid mistakes 4 times? Punch after punch, his word landed on me. My cheeks turned hot. Then, emerging through the heat and shame, came Monsieur's voice. I just want to let everyone know there's only one person who scored over 90 on my test. And that person is Xinyao. Great job. Pretty dramatic, right? But for a 10-year-old me, it felt like a hug that I didn't know I needed. It was so warm and so powerful. That was all I needed to dig my heels into Chinese literature and never let it go. I didn't want to lose the one person who believed in me. I studied hard for every test she gave us, quietly and excitedly waiting for the next chance to make her proud. Her support shaped me for years. Even when I moved into middle school, my love for Chinese literature stayed with me. It became my safety zone, my favorite subject, and the one thing I knew I could always count on to make me feel capable and seen. You can imagine moving across the Pacific Ocean at the age of 14, coming here to Monterey and step into high school life. It was scary. I left far more than just home and friends behind me. Academically, I left my favorite and best subject, Chinese literature, which had been my foundation of confidence. Literature went from being my favorite and best subject to my most dreaded and worst. I mean, how can you feel good after doing a 50-page reading assignment for 3 hours only to realize that you barely made it through 15 pages and you're not even fully understand it? I needed to find something, anything that could make me feel seen again. With more confidence, my drive, and yes, my grade will come back. So that's when I was drawn to the stage. I'd always loved this idea of performing, but never had a chance to try. And there's something different about it. Unlike the typical classroom where the students who are often very capable remain unseen, the stage is literally designed for anyone who stands on it shine. So there I was, walking onto the audition stage. I discovered this character named Constant, who had a crazy, wild heart, but was always relegated to the shadow. I understood her. As she went into high school, she too lost the sight of what's most important to her, what motivated and fueled her. I realized that she wasn't just a character on the paper. She was someone I knew, someone I had been. Once casted, I got a chance to fully step into her shoes. I find myself wanting to make her character bigger and vaster. I want the audience to feel her floating adrift, to see her struggle, to disconnect it from the pride that she once carried on the things that make her who she was. And maybe through her, they'd see me too. 7 hours of school life followed by another 5 hours in dress rehearsal. Those days ended up being my highlight of my sophomore years. Every hour spent polishing the monologue and the song, refining every word and every note, they all led to the most wonderful praise I've ever received. Seeing tears on the face of the audience at the end of her monologue. When the musical ended, I threw myself back into academics with way more confidence. I decided to sign up for the International Medicine and Disease Olympiad, a competition that required to memorize a massive amount of biology and medical terms in English. My entire summer was spent in my local library teaching myself these terms. I also took on an ambitious challenge in self-studying AP Calculus, with the aim to test out the first portion of the course and advance directly into Calculus BC. I wish my 4th grade math teacher would see me then. How he missed a brilliant student that's worth being proud of. But this decision to commit into 2 intense, time-consuming goals ended up to being a lesson itself. While I earned a bronze medal in the biology competition, my passion and focus for it left me with a little time to adequately prepare for my calculus exam. I didn't pass that test. Though I was so close, I feel awful, embarrassed. A deep sense of regret lingered as I blamed myself again and again for disappointing my new math teacher, whom I love much more than previous, obviously. It made my insecurity grow, as I worried that all the praise, trust, and faith that I once worked so hard to build on and earned would fade away. I replayed everything that summer, over and over again, fixating on the possibility that could make the result even better. I looked close into those memories, and I found out that at the time, I hadn't worried if I would win the prize in the biology competition or lose praise if I didn't pass that calculus exam. Instead, I feel pure curiosity and excitement when I woke up every day, went to the library, and to be amazed by how many magical things are happening in the human body every day. Have you ever met this cutie patootie? It literally has 2 feet, walking on a microtubule, carrying a huge vacuole all across every single cell of your body. These are kinesin motor protein complexes, masterpiece of engineering that all of us could count on for our existence. As I look back, it wasn't just biology. Things that I thought I'd stop pursuing without praise or encouragement had become my heart-filled loves. Me reading and studying for Chinese literature are no longer just me trying to make Monsieur proud. In turn, I'd always loved Chinese literature for the beauty of its words. Me rehearsing for musical wasn't just a mechanism for me to be seen, but a way for me to laugh hard enough with my friend that I could forget everything else. Even calculus, I was surprised that you can almost calculate everything, even the dispersion of light within water droplet. Even though the journey had been long, I now find out that my foundation of confidence that was once built on praise has transformed into something else. I grow past that trivial reward system that I had pursued since childhood. I'm confident, motivated, and feel seen, even without praise. And now, I learn to be more honest with myself and in touch with my feelings. I can see myself more clearly. And perhaps what's most importantly, I can love who I am. Thank you.